Hey friends, are you ready to explore the great outdoors? Let's go outside. Let's look around from the highest tree down to the ground. I'm Miss Deanna and I'm here at the Bell Road branch of the Newburgh-Chandler Public Library. Have you noticed some strange things going on outside? The leaves are changing colors. There's pumpkins everywhere. And when I go outside, I have to put on my jacket. Did you know that we are recording this video in the month of October? Will you help me figure out what season October is in? Is October in the spring when the brand new flowers are coming out? No. Is October in the summer when it's so hot we can wear shorts and we get to go swimming? No, I don't think so. Is October in winter when the snow is deep and we get to go sledding and we wear hats and coats and gloves? No, it's chilly, but not quite that chilly yet. October falls in the season of fall, and we're going to be talking about fall and trees today. Can you imagine if you were a tree and you didn't know that your leaves were going to fall off? How would you feel? Well, that's what happens in our story, which is inspired by the book, The Little Tree That Would Not Share, by Nicoletta Costa. And like all good stories, it starts with, once upon a time, there was a tree that lived in the city. It lived in a courtyard surrounded by houses. And every day in the springtime, the tree sprouted a new leaf. And he was so happy. The birds and the butterflies would fly nearby. "This tree smells so good," said the butterfly. But the birds were not allowed to land in the tree's branches. "Go away," said the tree. "Well, that tree is so rude. He won't even share his shade." The tree was afraid that if any animals got up in his branches, his beautiful leaves would fall down. Well, it wasn't very long, and summer came, and the beautiful tree had the most luxuriant canopy of leaves. But even then, the cat, who had the most delicate step of all, was not allowed to climb the tree. "Go away," said the tree. "Well, that tree just thinks he's better than all of us," said the cat. By fall, something bad started to happen. All of a sudden, all the tree's leaves started to turn yellow. The tree was horrified. What was happening? The birds came by. "It's getting cold. It's time for me to go south for the summer, for the winter." And away flew the birds. And then winter came, and the tree lost all of his leaves. Oh no, thought the tree. I must be very, very, very sick. Just then, the wise crow came along, and she explained to the tree the cycle of the seasons. And she promised the tree that come springtime, he would get brand new shiny leaves. And you know what? He did. All the leaves came back in the spring, and the tree was so happy. And this time, the tree decided to share his branches with the butterflies and the birds and anyone who wanted to enjoy the leaves and the branches and the shade. Now, boys and girls, do you know why trees lose their leaves in the wintertime? Each one of these leaves is like a mini factory, and it is making energy for the tree and food for the tree from the sun's rays. And in the fall and in the winter, the days get shorter and the nights get longer. There's not enough sun to feed the tree. So the tree drops its leaves and it kind of goes into a resting place. We call that, it goes dormant. But in the spring, when the days get longer and there's a lot more rain, the tree puts all its energy back into making leaves again, which become mini factories that convert the sun to food for the tree. The other thing that I noticed is this summer, my husband and I grew a bunch of sunflowers. And I love sunflowers because sunflowers get nice and tall, and they get nice and big, and they make lots of seeds for the birds. But eventually, my sunflowers turned from green to brown. And the seeds got to be so heavy that they tipped the flower that used to face the sun upside down like this. So I walked out and took a closer look at my sunflowers, and this is what I found on the video that I'm going to share with you now. So I'm out on the farm and I'm looking at the last of the sunflowers, and most of them are pretty much done blooming, as you can tell, and they're not collecting the birds that they used to. We had probably about 30 goldfinches in here at one point. But I have noticed that the seed heads that are all bent over have become like a little table for our bird friends. They eat their seeds and then leave the little husks here on the top of the bent head. And I was coming out here because I wanted to save some of these heads for the bird feeders over the winter, but I've noticed that most of them are almost completely empty. And you can see right here, like these are almost entirely empty. So we've done a pretty good job this summer of feeding goldfinches and other small birds with our sunflower seeds. Wasn't that neat how the video showed that the sunflowers turned into little bitty tables for the birds to feast on? The other thing I like to do is I have lots of trees where I live, and I love to go out and explore all the different leaves that I can find in the fall. And I try and find the tiniest leaves all the way up to the biggest leaves. And this wasn't the biggest leaf I found. This was the biggest leaf I found. Look, it covers up my whole face. And this leaf doesn't come from a tree, it actually comes from a flower called a canna. But I like to look at how some leaves are pointy, some leaves are round, some leaves in the fall get little polka dots on them. Well, if you would like to make some leaves at home, you can make a project like this. It's like painting, except your hands don't get messy. So the way you do this is you need a Ziploc bag and you need a cutout of a leaf, whatever shape you would like to make it. Now I've noticed that it's very hard to find Ziploc bags anymore that don't have something white on them. So when you're making this, you're going to turn it around so the white is in the back. I am going to use 4 different color paints today. I've got red, yellow, green, and orange. But at home, if you don't have paints in your house, you can substitute lotion or hair gel and some food coloring. Just remember, when you are using food coloring, it does stain things very quickly. All right, let's get started. So using my knives and my palette, I'm going to put my 4 colors inside my bag. And I'm going to put them in different places. So I've got a little bit of red, and I've got a little bit of green, some yellow. I suppose, I haven't done it myself, but I suppose you could experiment with using ketchup and mustard. And then I've got a little bit of orange. You'll be doing this down on a table that's flat. I'm going to do it up here on the board. So I'm going to make sure that I zip this very tight. And if you want to, you can actually fold it over and tape it again. I'm going to put my bag down first. Then I'm going to take my leaf cutout and I'm going to put that over the top. And now I get to play. I'm going to fill in all these blank spaces. So I'm going to start using my fingers like a paintbrush, and I'm going to fill in all the corners. And I'm going to keep spreading it around. Now, if I decide that I don't like what I have, or if I want to make it look different, I can sort of erase it and start over again. But look, no mess. Isn't that great? And I can change it. You know, I can make the stems. And I can play with this for a couple of days. Eventually, if I do it enough, all of these colors will blend together into one color. And when that happens, you just take that bag and throw it away, and you can save your black paper with your leaf cutout, and you can try it again. All right. Well, did you notice that my tree has a door on it? It does. And underneath that door is a couple of numbers. I have some 600s, 633 and 634. And I have a number 580. Now, if you come to the library, these are Dewey Decimal numbers. These are the numbers on the tall nonfiction shelves where you can find more books about trees and harvesting and all of the fun things that we have that go on in the fall. Whoops! We have lots of books about trees, and I hope that you will come to our library and you will check them out. Now, if you can't find what you're looking for, don't forget, you can always check the card catalog, and you can always ask someone with a badge for help, because we want to make sure you leave with the books that you want. All right, last thing, friends. I need to decide if I like fall or if I don't like fall. So in the fall, the birds, not all of the birds, but lots of the birds leave and go south for the winter time. I don't like that. And in the fall, the nights get longer and the days get shorter. I don't like that either. I like the bright, bright sunlight. But I do get to see lots of pretty colored leaves. And I do like that. And a lot of the bugs go away in the fall, especially the mosquitoes. And Miss Deanna does not like bugs. So I'm very happy to see that. But lastly, it gets colder in the fall. And you know what? Sometimes it's nice to have a break from the hot, hot sun. But you know what? Usually I don't like being cold. So I'm going to put that in the dislike column too. So let's take a look. How many things do I have in the like column, or the thumbs up? 1, 2. How many things do I have in the dislike column? 1, 2, 3. Well, it's pretty close, but it looks like maybe fall is not my favorite season, but there are still some things there that I like. All right, friends, well, that's enough for today. And I want you to remember, until we see each other again and we explore something else outdoors, we wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands and stomp our feet. We wave goodbye like this. Goodbye now.